welcome, hi everyone, to today's very relaxing video where we're going to talk about creativity, sort of my path, and what I decided to do with my own ideas. This is just a chit chat, and we're going to see some books, do some ASMR, and then at the end we're going to do a little painting session together, and hopefully this will be relaxing to you. So one thing about me is that I did study art in school. I went to school to study art, and more specifically, literature, because I was convinced for a very long time that I would become an author. I love to write. My mind is very active and imaginative. I love storytelling, and I love expressing myself. I have a great appreciation for words. And that's it. I thought I would become a writer, that I would publish myself, and that this would be my life. So I did go to school, and I was very disappointed. Not because I was not interested in art, just because, I don't know, it's not what I expected. I felt very stuck. I felt like I was expected to do things a certain way, which is obviously yes. It's often the case at school. There's protocols and rules and evaluations that you need to pass, right? And after a year and a half, I dropped out. I decided to go my own path, and that's something about me. I always want to go my own path. So after a year and a half, I dropped out. I felt kind of lost, and I don't know. I didn't know where to go to anymore. I didn't really know what I wanted anymore. I was pretty young. I dropped out around 18, I would say. Right when I was old enough to be an adult, to make my own decisions, and that's the decision I made. Pages are stuck together. These books are thrifted. I found them in a thrift store. And after that, I was kind of lost, and I just felt kind of bad. I thought that my dream of being a writer was over, almost. And I was kind of sad. And that's when I remembered how much I expressed myself in my day-to-day life. Through written words, I was once more comfortable as a kid. I was not able to speak, so I would often write. And this is where my love for writing came from. I had to. But then when I started to learn how to speak, express myself in many different ways, that's just when the magic started to happen. I knew that I wanted to make connections with others through my spoken words as well as my written words. I got the idea that I wanted to be a content creator, and that's something that I subconsciously always wanted to do. I used to film little silly YouTube videos on my cell phone my entire childhood and my teenage years, which is pretty funny when you think about it. I never posted them, of course, and I would just delete them, but there was this call inside of me to just film myself and express myself. And I remember vividly my first ever YouTube video that I put out. It's still on my channel. It's my first one. I was so young at that time, and I just knew I wanted to express myself in any way possible. I just knew that something was calling me. Something deeper than just going to school. So yeah, I dropped out. I knew I wanted to do a YouTube channel, but I wasn't certain how or what or why. So I actually started my Twitch channel as well. I wanted to be a YouTuber, and ironically I became more of a Twitch streamer. And it was a lot of fun. I learned that I really love to express myself because I was so quick at improvising and speaking on camera, communicating with other people. I had a lot of fun. But at some point it was not enough. I wanted something more concrete, more serious. So I went back to my YouTube channel, and for a long time, I would say, for a long time my videos went unnoticed. Of course, making art and making videos is not always about views or the recognition that you get. But it was pretty much low key. I had a very small channel. Barely anyone watched my videos. I did not upload consistently, but when I did upload, I liked what I did. I was very proud of what I did, even if I was not the best. Even if the quality was probably not the best, I was still very happy. And that's really something that, I don't know, I guess I'm grateful to have learned this kind of experience. I'm reaching for a little tiny paintbrush so we can brush the pages together. There it is. So, I don't know. I just felt called to do something more serious, more long form, where people could find comfort or teachings or lessons that I had learned. And that was it. After that, one of my videos went viral and whatnot, but that's my creative journey. And I'm still in the midst of figuring it out. But I wanted to share with you some lessons that I've learned, just because I thought it would be super fun. I do not bound myself by any title or name. I genuinely just say that I express myself, and does that make me an artist, a speaker, a content creator? I don't know. I don't care. These labels don't serve me, and that's something that I've learned. I don't want labels in my creative work. I just want to express myself, my ideas, and that's it. However, I do find it very annoying that everything nowadays is just content. I think there's a big difference. Content feels empty. There's no meaning behind content. It loses its spark, the thing that makes it special. I prefer art. I prefer saying that we are making art, even if it's not the most serious and the most profound art. I think video making is still art, and we should recognize it as such. It takes time, it takes effort. Art doesn't have to be serious or complex or complicated. Art should be accessible to everyone because it's just expression of self, of ideas, of feelings. And that's it. There's no need to be perfect in art, and that's probably something that I really love. Something that interested me about studying in art. Because there's so much to see and to feel and to examine and to try to understand, right? In a way, for me, art is an extension of spirituality. I believe that in some way, shape, or form, we allow our spirits to come through, just sort of express themselves. Whatever we are doing, if you're writing, painting, or just me filming a video, that's what I believe. Art is profoundly spiritual in one way. It develops your mind, your feelings. It makes you see the world in a different way. Just this painting. Yeah, it's the boat. It's a little boat on some water with nice stuff, little clouds, trees, but it's something about the way that it's painted. A unique vision that is communicated in a moment in a time that we don't even live in. This is old, that we can catch a glimpse of what this artist saw at this moment. To me, it always comes back to the soul, to your heart. You can clearly see the difference here. How hyper realistic the boat looks, and then its reflection. Almost childish. Art is playful. It's about having fun. At least to me. I would say that nowadays a lot of people feel like they have lost their spark. They're like, no, when I was a kid I was so much more creative. I was so much more joyful, curious. I think that it's something that we impose to ourselves. Kids feel sparks of ideas and they just act on it. But as adults, we just sort of put rules on ourselves and we say we can't do this, we can't do that. And I think that's something that ruins creativity, which is why I left art school. I don't want someone to tell me what's good and what isn't. I'm the only judge of that. And of course, we can argue about this. Maybe we can argue about terrible books being written, terrible movies being written. I feel like there's nuance. But if it comes from your heart, then it's objectively good. Of course, we can talk about the mass-produced, AI, greedy, quote-unquote art being made these days, but I don't think that this is something that I want to focus on. The ability to tell stories, to share perspectives, to transmute our feelings into something that others can see and witness and experience. Creating a vision, an experience. That's art. That's fascinating to me. Art is about people, it's about life, it's about what we experience. It's about being alive. It's about existing. Since the dawn of times, art is just an extension of us. I would argue that maybe it's what makes us human. What's the difference between a human and a non-human animal? One could say the human uses tools or is smarter. Other animals have used tools too. There is no real definition of what is smart. We can't say we're stronger because there's non-human animals that are way stronger than us. I would say it's our ability to create, to innovate, to observe. It's been proven time and time again that animals are sensitive and smart. They know how to use tools. They understand systems. But I think that the element that humans have, that other creatures may not have, is just this ability to be connected to the abstract and make sense out of it. I hope I make sense. And therefore, I believe that's why it's so important to create. I create because I have to. I create because it indicates that I'm alive. And some people may think it's a bit dramatic, but I don't think that they would understand what it is to have this fever, this need to create, to pour your heart into something that you make with your own hands. Something that comes out of me, myself. We're gonna do a really small water painting. Like I said, it's not about being good. It's just about expressing something that I feel, that I see, that I believe. It's about having fun. You might be able to see a little bit through. This is a marker on the other side, so I just believe in art. I really do. It's important to me. I myself, I love to support just events where people create and share pieces of their soul through their artwork. It's important. It celebrates community, individuality, authenticity, and it brings us back to our roots. As humans, we're meant to be connected. In a world that is always growing more greedy and more, I don't know, there's something about the world just being empty. It's important to bring meaning into all of this. My meaning is just to create, to be present, to align with others, with my heart space, with my mind, with their mind, to admire, to appreciate. Whether it's just a heartbreak song, jokes, comedy, visual art, meditation. That's the kind of stuff that I believe in. I believe in community. I believe in the good of people, and I don't know. I choose to see the bright side of things. Because at the end of the day, it's a choice, isn't it? Always was. We have so much freedom, more than we think. No one can take away from me the way that I see the world, the way that I perceive it. No one can take away from me my loves, my feelings, my memories, my hopes, my dreams. That's all mine. And I get to express them. That's all that matters to me. Sometimes I like to believe that our entire lives are just one gigantic art piece. I like to believe that I'm the one stroking away the paint on my own canvas. Creating what I want to create. There's a certain poetry to being alive, and all that. I love poetry. As someone who writes poetry, consumes poetry, there's something to it. It's easy to write poetry. That's what people always say. Anyone can write poetry. As if it was a bad thing. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it the whole point of art? It should be easy. It should be very accessible. Why make it complicated? It's something that our ancestors did before we even knew. Something fascinating about it. What I also love about creativity is just that it's so unique. It's so individual. Everything about it. The way that someone writes, the way that someone draws something as simple as a butterfly tells a lot about the way that their minds work, how they perceive the world. For me, art is a way to connect with myself, but also connect with others. There's something very unique about especially abstract art. A lot of people would say that it doesn't make sense, it doesn't have to make sense. It's just pure, raw expression. For that reason, I think it's pretty cool. Of course, I understand still this idea that someone can just paint whatever and call it art. That's crazy. I feel like we're so taught that art should be difficult and that being an artist is almost a sacrifice. That you'll starve, you won't make it. Even if there's plenty of artists that made it. That art is not accessible, that it doesn't make sense. We consume art every day. The podcasts we listen to, the music we listen to, clothes we wear, the frame in our bedroom, the game design of the video games we play, the movies we watch, the makeup we wear. Art is everywhere. There's no such thing as futility when it comes to doing what you love, when it comes to expressing yourself. We make things too complicated. We make things as if they had to be groundbreaking in order to be good. As if that was true. There's so many terrible shows with terrible podcasts, terrible movies, terrible music. One could say that that's my own personal opinion. You would be right. You would be right. That's also something about art, right? You cannot control how others perceive it, how they feel when they consume what you do. It's okay. That's something I'm learning with my own videos. I can't control the way that you receive my messages, the way that you perceive me, the things that I do. I'm learning to be okay with this. I have to admit, sometimes it's hard. I feel like people only see art as something valid if it's popular or whatever. And I feel like you get a lot of recognition for your work, for your talent. If you get popular, if you get a lot of views, a lot of money, whatever. Often it's the definition of what makes you successful, right? And it can come and get me a little bit when I'm doing videos and I see that some videos are not doing as well as others. Sometimes it hurts a little bit. It comes to get me. But then I remember that it's out of my control, really. and it's not really what I wanted to care about. I wanted to have some kind of impact. What really warms my heart is to see messages, comments from people saying that what I said helped them, that they related, they found beauty in something that I did. Beauty is everywhere when you think about it. Like, literally when you think about it. It just appears magically. Sometimes it doesn't have to be beautiful either. Sometimes I say things that are sad and it somehow brings comfort to people. I say things that are heavy and difficult and still bring something positive into the experience of this person. That's what I think is cool. That's why I think that everyone should just express themselves. Of course, not in a way that hurts others or that is harmful to themselves even. It's just part of who we are. We don't have to numb ourselves. We don't have to run away from feelings and relationships and thoughts and authenticity. We don't have to buy into the latest trends. You don't have to care about being enough or not. You just have to care about being yourself. But again, even for me, being in the eye of others, sometimes I do feel myself slipping, starting to think, am I doing good? Am I doing enough? Am I interesting? Am I relevant? Although I believe that these are valid concerns. It just kind of sucks. Sucks energy right out of your soul. It's not something that I like. That's okay. I'm learning still. And this entire painting that we're doing right now, I'm just trying to focus my energy, my focus on how it makes me feel. Creating makes me feel alive. Makes me feel a connection. It makes me feel the flow of all things together. They're all going through me. That's something I really like. I love feeling connected, actually. Something about being alive and being numb always scared me. I don't take anything. I don't run away from my feelings. I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit crazy, but I love embracing everything about being alive. That includes my pains, my hardships. Of course I'll complain about them. I'm still human, but I do my best to try and just control my thoughts and emotions, to stay around just observation, acceptation. Doesn't mean I won't go after what I desire. Doesn't mean that I give up or that I don't care. Quite the opposite. I allow myself the space to live, and then I express it through what I write, what I talk about. I allow my experiences to flow with me, to flow through me. And it's something that really fuels my creativity. just want to express myself, right? And that's something beautiful. I think it's truly a gift that we have as humans to be able what we are able to do. That was so vague. I hope you understand my meaning. I really want to do something in the middle, but I think it's still too wet. Yeah. We're gonna wait for it to dry a little bit. In the meantime, we're just gonna do something else. You know, the reason why I talk about this so much is just because I hope that it inspires people. I feel you know, sometimes I feel discouraged myself. I feel scared, me too. It's scary being alive and putting yourself out there to the world. What if no one cares? What if I fail? I get a lot of these self-doubts. I think it's normal. I still try to sort of accept it. It's part of who I am. Sometimes I have doubt, and I think my doubts are there to find solutions. They're not there to ruin my life. They're just there to highlight a problem they believe in. And as the owner of my heart, my mind space, I gotta say, hey, it's okay. I understand. I see how you feel, and it's okay. I understand. I always picture my doubts as like a little anxious version of myself asking, what if? What if? Kind of like a kid. But what if there's a monster under my bed? What if? And it's my job as a quote unquote parent to just come in and say, hey buddy, I get that you have big feelings, that you're scared. That's okay. Because I'm here for you. I think that's the only way to deal with doubt as an artist. Because if we start to give in to these fears, the idea that we're not doing enough, then it's over for us. It really is. If you yourself feel like you want to do things with your life, want to maybe go into your own path or something like that, I advise you to do it, or at least try, and try as many times as you want. Being creative is a gift that is given to all people, but not all people use it. And for that very reason, I think this is why we see, people going after their dreams as very special, going after their creative endeavors. I don't think they're better than us or that they're different. I mean, maybe, but I just think they tried. That's the beauty of art also. You can always try. I don't like when people say I'm not good at it. You're good at it because you do it. It's one of the only things in life where you can quote unquote fail. You can be terrible. Barely know how to hold a paintbrush or what colors to use, and it doesn't matter. Never does. It's the most forgiving medium, most forgiving task and hobby. You just sort of do it. That's beautiful. But you gotta check within if that's how you feel, that you're not good. Why do you feel the need to be good? There's nothing to prove when you're making art. Even myself, sometimes I gotta remind myself, I'm not here to prove myself on the internet, right? Just here to share, to do things, to express ideas, and hopefully these ideas will go on their own way to the minds of other people, and to the hearts of other people, and that's it. I myself, I really want to consider myself successful, but it's up to us. What does it mean to be successful? What does it mean to be a failure? And do I actually believe that I'm a failure, or just being told that I'm a failure? That's something about creatives, right? I feel like people often think that being an artist means that you're gonna fail. Everyone fails at some point. That's not a valid argument. Everyone messes up. That's okay. There's no need to stress out about it. I gotta remind myself that quite often, actually. I'm a perfectionist, and that's something I learned is being a perfectionist. It just messes me up. It doesn't mean that I'm making any real progress. I'm just too busy beating up myself about whatever, anything and everything, truly. That kind of sucks. No one got good at whatever they do by being perfect. Like, no one. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed this talk. I hope that you'll enjoy whatever creation you will embark on. Know that it is worth it. Don't have to make it into a business, or you don't even have to be good. Just create something. If not for yourself, create for me. Think about me when you do whatever. I just want you to express yourself and try it out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, you can definitely check out my other videos on my channel. If you're interested in my talks about spirituality, I do have a spiritual channel. I also have a business where I sell private readings and many other things, such as an ebook about self-empowerment. Currently, I have a discount, 10% off anything and everything, with the code SUMMER10, SUMMER being in all caps, 10 being the number. You can follow me on social media. You can support me if you wish. I would really appreciate it. I have a Patreon where I post exclusive content and just have fun with it. If you're interested, you can definitely check that out. And apart from that, is there anything else I need to? I don't know. I do many things. Speaking of creativity, I'm all over the place. I have a podcast, whatnot. A very creative person. I just follow that call, that need to do stuff. Maybe that's the kind of like the ADHD in me. Cannot sit still. But whatever. That's gonna be it for today. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for sticking with me, and just a reminder that I'm filming a Q&A this week. If you have questions for me, just write them in the community post on my Instagram. Whatever. Just write your question. Thank you all so much for watching, if you're still watching. Stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Love y'all.